Hello, my name is Elise, and I'm a children's librarian in Massachusetts. And I'm here today to share a family craft activity that you can do in your home. It's really easy, and you don't need a lot of supplies or even a lot of skills. I call it Scribble art. And so let's begin. Now, the first thing you're going to need is paper. And it's nice if you have a piece of construction paper that's colored. But you know what? You can get by without it. One thing is, if your child has already done a project like this, just turn it over and use the back side. Another option is to use photocopy paper. Maybe you've got a printer and you've got lots of paper. But if paper is in short supply, take something you've already printed that you no longer need and use the back side. And another option is maybe you've received a box in the mail lately. Cut it up and you have some great art paper. And the last one is take your grocery bags, cut them up, and this is just perfect. And I even have another option if you don't have any paper at home. Maybe you have chalk. Now, I have a little blackboard so I can scribble and maybe make a scribble portrait at home. But it would be even more fun to go outside on a nice day, bring lots of colored chalk and scribble. On your driveway or sidewalk, you could make a scribble art zoo that your neighbors can visit when they're taking a walk. Make sure you take pictures of your scribble art zoo so you can remember what you did, because it will disappear when it rains. Now, we begin with a piece of paper, and we're going to scribble. And I used thick crayons and regular size crayons, and I scribbled on this one in sort of straight motions, down and up and to the side. And I used lots of colors, because the more colors you use, usually the more interesting it is, though it depends. And when you are all done scribbling, you get to think about what it could be. And I'll show you what I made with one of mine. I think it's an owl. I added ears and eyes and nose and feet. But it could have been other things. And I bet you could think of some other things you might have made from this. Now, another project I've done with scribble art is to just use one color. This is our polar bear. And I gave the children white crayons and dark paper, and they scribbled. And usually in the beginning, you don't even think about what it's going to be. Just scribble and cover the whole page. And then when it's done, you can add with a Sharpie or markers, or construction paper, you can add eyes and ears, nose and mouth. Now, one thing I also like to do sometimes is I added a clear or colored glitter paint. And what's nice about this one is it made it a little more, I don't know, exciting. It added a feeling of twilight, glittery twilight to our polar bear pictures. So you could do that afterwards. Now, another really fun one is the Scribble monster. And in this case, take a piece of paper. I usually give the children black because I think of as black as kind of an angry color. And I think of monsters as kind of angry. And scribble, and you add other colors as wildly as you can, not just in straight lines or in circles, but crazy, wild, monster kind of scribbles. And then when you are done, you can add, using construction paper or markers, teeth and wild ears and horns and 3 eyes. Use your imagination. Now, one child took his Scribble monster and painted it white. It came out kind of ghost-like, or even like a polar bear. Now, one of my favorite projects to do with Scribbles starts out like this. And with the very young children, we practiced in the air scribbling so they would get at the right motions. And we just scribbled and scribbled and scribbled. And this is one of the projects that a young child made. They added, because these children were young, I cut out birds and feathers and eggs, and even pieces of paper from a musical score, and they could add them to the artwork. Now, if you're really adventurous and you want to make more of a real collage, you could add the kinds of things we find in Nest. Yarn, feathers, twigs, and you can cut out birds out of felt, out of musical paper, so that we can pretend we hear their music, or you can make them very pretty out of scrapbook paper. And here's an example of one of those. These are such fun projects. They're only limited by your imagination. And you could even start out and not know what the Scribble art is going to be. Maybe make a portrait of yourself. And then once it's done, add the eyes and the ears and the nose and the mouth and just have a great time. Okay? Thank you. Bye.